welcome back everyone to a new video on our channel FPL Nerds. My name is Timo.
And my name is MJ, and today we're going to share with you our not so great points in Game Week 13, as well as our Game Week 14 transfers and the team preview for the coming game week.
Indeed. It was a very unlucky game week for everybody, I think. Not a lot of returns, a lot of blanks. So yeah, let's check it out and see what happened.
All right, so this is what my team did in Game Week 13. As you can see, I had a big red arrow. Now I'm down to 320k. Overall, it's been a very disappointing week. I couldn't blame it on luck. However, I don't even know what to blame it anymore because I've had a few red arrows in a row with just game week 12, which was a better one for me. Now, looking at the team itself, out of the 11 players, I only had two players that actually had returns, which are Ward, and he was absolutely surprising again. This is his third clean sheet in a row, and to be honest, when I first got him, I was not really expecting too many clean sheets. But yeah, definitely cannot complain. And the second player who returned was Erling Haaland with 2 goals, 3 bonus points. Obviously, he was captain, so times 2, 26 points. Now, apart from this, Solanke got picked up an injury and went out minute 44.
Yeah.
Foden did not start. Trent Alexander-Arnold did not start. And as for the rest, everybody literally blanked, even the people who started blank. Yeah, at this point, I have so many different transfers in mind which I want to make. However, I know I cannot do them because Game Week 16 is coming very soon and we will all have a wild card.
Yeah.
Unlimited transfers. So I think it's useless to keep taking hits over hits over hits. So yeah, this is how my team did so far. Very disappointingly, if you look at the bench, I had Andreas with 10 points, 2 assists plus bonus points, and Neco Williams, who actually had a clean sheet against Liverpool, and they actually won the match with 1-0. It was absolutely, I don't know what to say,
Crazy.
outrageous for Liverpool, but it was a huge surprise for everybody who's watching Premier League.
Yeah, I think that a lot of managers had kind of the similar situation when it comes to the bench. Andreas and Williams, everybody started other players instead of them, and most of us ended up with them on the bench without getting use of these 16 valuable points for us. So yeah, big disappointment, I think, not only for you, but for a lot of other managers. So yeah, let's see what kind of transfer you're making this week.
Okay, so despite the 2 yellow flags that I have in my team with both Solanke and Haaland, I decided to take Aubameyang out, which has been a real troll for me, both him and Sterling, which I took out last week, and decided to just make room for more funds because I wanted initially to change Solanke direct to Wilson, but I had 0.0 million in the bank, so there was absolutely no way of doing that. And looking at the previous scores that Aubameyang had, I think there is no reason for me to keep him in my team and lose even more value. I already lost 0.2 value with him, and I think I just need to cut my losses. And yeah, instead of him, I got Wilson. He has 2 very nice fixtures ahead, Aston Villa at home and Southampton away. He's been looking like he's the main focal point of their attack. Isaac is injured. I don't think will be getting too many minutes. So yeah, looking at his underlying statistics, he has a 0.67 XGI, and I don't see why he would not be returning in the coming 2 fixtures.
Yeah, actually, I see that you did listen to what we did in the last video, and you picked up Wilson as a transfer. Yeah, I believe that Wilson is actually quite a good one, and maybe a little surprise coming up. You will see in the same thing in my transfers. Yeah, so yeah, I think Wilson is a very good shout for the next few weeks, and hopefully it will do good for you, man.
Yeah, considering there's the wild card coming in Game Week 16, I'm pretty satisfied with this transfer. Maybe for game week 16 itself against Chelsea, there is a possibility that I'm gonna change him to somebody else. But I think he's the best short-term transfer for my own team.
I agree. I agree. Totally. And Aubameyang was a bit too expensive for what he's doing anyway.
Oh, so much more expensive than he returned.
All right, so let's see how your team is shaping up for game week 14 then.
All right, so this is how my team is shaping up for game week 14. As you can see, I have some pluses, some minuses in the team. Let's start with the goalkeeper, who has maybe the toughest game in the whole season,
Yep.
playing against Manchester City. So yeah, I will be playing Ward. I don't really have any other choice because I only have Ward and Iverson, which they'll both be facing City. So let's see what happens there. I don't even know, to be honest, whether I want him to keep a clean sheet or not, because I also have Foden and other players from Manchester City, which I'm hoping for them to return actually. So yeah. Moving on to the defense, I have Arnold, who has a pretty decent fixture against Leeds at home. I'm hoping for a clean sheet here. Lately, Liverpool have been a little bit more solid defensively, and it looks like they're starting to become a little bit more organized. Next to him, there is Cancelo, who will be playing obviously against Leicester, who don't have a great attack, despite the fact that in their last game they scored 4 goals. I still believe that Manchester City are one of the most, if not the most solid defense in the league in terms of how well they are organized and the big chances that they have actually conceded. And for the last third and last spot in the defense, there is Kieran Trippier, who there's actually no more reason for me to go through it because he has been the most transfer player, I think, for 5 weeks in a row or something. Now his price went up to 5.8, and he keeps on delivering. Okay, apart from this last game week, he's delivered like 5 or 6 game weeks in a row. So there is really no need to consider changing him or whatsoever. Okay, now in the midfield, I have Martinelli against Nottingham Forest. It's maybe one of the best fixtures that Arsenal can have, and I'm looking forward to this game. I believe that Arsenal have a really strong striking force, whether it's Martinelli, Saka, or Jesus. It's sort of a small lottery there, but most probably they will be scoring at least 1 or 2 goals.
Yeah, well,
Now,
the Nottingham Forest,
yeah.
just to add a little thing, that Nottingham Forest are actually the worst when it comes to shots on target conceded. So there's a big chance for Arsenal there to score a few goals, and usually Martinelli is always involved in that. So yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, exactly. And since they have so many shots conceded, you can always expect Arsenal to strike, let's say. And also another team who's very vulnerable in the defense is Bournemouth, which is actually going to play against Son. Son has an away fixture, and even though it's away, I believe Bournemouth has the leakiest defense in terms of goals conceded.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I'm actually not very sure. I think I will be captaining Son and vice captaining Foden, but for this one, I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm either gonna do this or vice versa and captain Foden and vice captain Son. Now, moving
Okay.
on, obviously, I just spoke about him. Foden, he has a pretty easy game against Leicester, despite the 3 clean sheets that they kept in a row, Leicester. Last game week he was benched, and I'm fully expecting him to play the maybe not the 90 minutes, but to be in the starting lineup. And now considering that Erling Haaland, there is a chance that he will not be starting, I think this will only increase Foden's chances in terms of attacking positioning and more chances of scoring.
True.
So yeah, next to him, we have Zaha, who is starting to become a troll again, but now it's a little bit too late to start thinking of transferring him because once again, we have the Game Week 16 unlimited transfers, and I don't want to be taking too many hits until then. So I'll be just keeping him against supposedly easy fixture, Southampton at home, He's still on pens. He should be reliable enough to at least provide an assist, if not even one goal.
Yeah, I think it's the game against Southampton should be easy for Crystal Palace, and it's at home, so yeah, why not scoring there?
Yeah, yeah, I'm truly hoping for this. And as you can see, I chose to start Andreas Pereira as my fifth midfielder. I had my other two options were either to start Eight Nuri. However, he did blank last time. Actually, he did not play, or Solanke,
Yellow
who
flag.
has a knock. Yeah, he's yellow flag. So I'm not really sure whether or not they will be starting, and I don't want to get any one pointers in the team. At least Andreas, I know he has a chance of a clean sheet, so there is a possibility to get, let's say, a minimum of 3 points, and any additional attacking returns are more than welcome.
Yeah, don't expect though that you get another 10 point this week. It doesn't happen
Oh,
every week.
I'm not gonna expect it, but if it comes, I will definitely be happy.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, and now to finish up my two strikers, our first one is Erling Haaland. I decided to start him despite the fact that he's yellow flag. First of all, I don't know how serious his knock is, so maybe he will be starting, maybe he will not. But even if he's not starting and if he's getting maybe 15 minutes or so, he's still a very dangerous player not to have. And consider looking at my bench, I wouldn't necessarily captain Haaland. Sorry, I wouldn't necessarily bench Haaland so I can play Eight Nuri instead of him
Yeah,
or
true.
Neko Williams. So yeah,
Yeah, true, true. But look, I think from what I heard from the press conference from Pep, that he said that he went out with a knock, as you said, but he was a bit ill. He had a bit of fever. So I think Pep wouldn't risk him for that game, and you probably will not be in the formation or in the squad, in my opinion. But
yeah.
yeah, everything could happen in with Pep Roulette. So
Yeah, it's a
let's see.
risky one, but considering the ownership, I don't wanna take this risk. And even if you look at Neco Williams, he's gonna play against Arsenal. It's a really tough fixture, and it's expected of Nottingham Forest to receive a goal. So I wouldn't necessarily count on their clean sheet. Therefore, he will be my last substitute, and let's hope he doesn't get another clean sheet.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and the last player in my starting 11 will be Wilson. I just literally just spoke about him. He just joined the team. I think he will be a good asset for the short term, for the next two game weeks. And afterwards, when he plays against Chelsea, I will still have to reassess and see whether or not I will be starting him or not.
Yeah, agreed.
So yeah, this sums up my team. I'm truly hoping for a better score than last week. I really need some big green arrows. Hopefully, it will come from Foden or Son, which hopefully will also be my captain. And yeah, let's see.
Okay, well, your biggest differential is Wilson. Actually, you would if Wilson can get like a goal or two even, that would be great for you. Actually, that will help you a lot.
Definitely, 100%.
All right, guys. So that's it for MJ's team. Let's take a look at my team and how I did in game week 13. All right, guys. So this is how I did in game week 13. I had actually a total of 50 points, which gave me a red arrow. Not a huge one though, only like 200k down. So I'm not happy, but I'm content with that because everybody else had a similar situation and that they got very low scores. So looking at the team itself, pretty much similar situation as MJ because the only two people that actually scored for me and returned some point were Ward with 8 point and Haaland with 26 point as he was my captain. Everybody else had ones and twos, and apart from Bowen who had 3 points, which still not a return. But anyway, the big points were on the bench this week. It was Andreas
That's
10 point.
absolutely crazy. And I saw some accounts on Twitter. Some people had like 36 points on the bench, and it
Wow.
was just crazy.
Yeah, a lot of points on the bench indeed. And just to clarify something, I actually wanted to start Trent in the last week, but in the last moment before the deadline starts, I heard from a very reliable source that Trent was not starting this match, so that's why I decided to put him on the bench and play Elliot instead. Although Elliot didn't really get me any returns, but he still
You
got
gained
two.
1 point.
Yeah, 1 point more. So yeah,
Yeah.
at least that. So yeah, not much to say more about this team because it was quite a bad week. So let's move on to the transfers. Knowing I had two free transfers and I used them both. So let's take a look. All right, so the first transfer I'm doing is actually taking Solanke out and putting Wilson in. And if you guys watched the last video we did on the buy, hold, sell, I'm pretty much doing exactly what we said in the buy, hold, sell. The two in the buys, I'm getting them in, and the two in the sell, I'm going to take them in out. So basically, I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and hopefully it works out. So Solanke, as we saw, he actually have a yellow flag, so I'm not sure he's even starting. And he having Tottenham at home, which is quite a difficult fixture. So I rather get Wilson in, as we already spoke about in the MJ's transfer and even in the buy hold sell video. He's a good short-term punt, very big differential, and he's actually the focal point of Newcastle in the front, so he could have a good chance of scoring a few goals there more than Solanke. He have a very good underlying stats, XGI of 0.67, 4 goals, 1 assist so far to his name. So overall, I think that's a pretty good transfer for now for the next 2 weeks at least. All
Yeah,
right,
definitely. There's nothing really I can add to that because
right.
you literally did the same transfer that I did. So yeah, I think it's a good one. Let's go
Great.
so.
All right, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, so the second transfer that I did, as I mentioned, the same as we did in the buy hold sell, I took out Bowen because Bowen is also yellow flag now. He lost the penalties. He didn't return in the last match. He gave me a couple of returns, which I'm happy about. Helped me with the ranks a bit. But now he's injured. No more penalties, and he's facing Manchester United away the next one. So a lot of indications to actually help me with the decision, and I took him out for Marcus Rashford. So Marcus Rashford actually, Manchester United in general are having a very good run of fixture up till I don't know game week maybe 20 or even more. He's one of the three main guys in the front for Manchester United. He already have 3 goals, 2 assists to his name. XGI of 0.45, which is not bad. So I'm really hoping he could deliver in the next 3 matches up till game week 16. And he's only 6.6 million, so it's not a big loss if he doesn't really return in the next couple of game weeks.
Yeah. That's one thing. Also, if you look, you just mentioned the XGI is 0.45, but look at the fixtures they had so far. They were way tougher than the ones that are coming.
True.
So I can only expect the 0.45 to go up.
Yeah, the best run of fixture of Manchester United is actually coming from this game week on. So if they're gonna do anything, they should do it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's it from my transfers. Let's see how the team is shaping up for game week 14. All right, guys. So this is how my team is shaping up for game week 14. In the back, I decided, of course, to go with Sanchez instead of Ward. Ward, as we mentioned in MJ's team, he have a very hard fixtures against Manchester City, so probably will be conceding a lot and maybe get return some a minus point. Sorry, dude. So I decided to go with Sanchez. You have kind of a tricky fixture against Chelsea, but it's at home, so the chances are better than Ward anyway to keep a clean sheet. Maybe a few save points there. So let's see what happens. But I'm not really like expecting much from him anyway.
But it's a possibility, though, looking at Chelsea's attack, they haven't been very sharp lately, so a nil-nil is a possibility.
Yeah, that would be ideal actually for me because I also have Cucurella in the back, as you can see now, playing against Brighton. So actually, if it does finish 0-0, that would be the best scenario for me because I will have 2 clean sheet from them. Chelsea are been also proving that they are better defensively, especially when Potter joined the team. And Cucurella is one of the nailed players so far, so I think he's a good chance of having a clean sheet there. Next to him is Trent. We're having a very good fixture with Salah against Leeds at home. I think, and Salah actually will be my captain for this week. I think he's the best candidate of all of the players I have in front of me right now. Maybe Jesus, because Jesus also have a very good fixture against Nottingham Forest, but I think I will keep the captain for now on Salah. Salah have a better chance of scoring in this one because it's at home at Anfield and it's against Leeds, one of the leakiest defenses in the Premier League so far. So the Liverpool boys have a very good chance of getting a turn there. Going back to the defense, I have Trippier, who is marked as Foden currently. Sorry for the for the little mistake, but it's actually Trippier who's facing Aston Villa at home. So it's a very good chance of him keeping a clean sheet. Even though Villa are starting to be better, especially in the last match offensively, I think they're gonna be a bit harder to break the Newcastle defenses. And Trippier can always have a chance also of getting like an attack and return here or there.
Hmm.
Finally, in the defense, I have Cancelo, who's facing Leicester. I think Leicester are improving, but still they are facing the strongest team in the Premier League against Manchester City. So I don't think they will have a big chance of scoring there. So most probably Cancelo can keep a clean sheet and maybe an attacking return also, hopefully.
Let's hope so.
All right, so going to the midfield, we already talked about Salah. I have Zaha, who's facing Southampton, same as MJ. Quite an easy fixture. He's a talisman of Crystal Palace. Everything basically go through him when it comes to attack. So hopefully he can score again and get me some points there. And finally, Rashford, the new addition to my team, who I'm wishing really to score in the next 3 game weeks and get me some attack and return, especially with a good match at home against West Ham. West Ham is a bit of a, I don't know, mixed bag when it comes to defense, so I don't know what to expect from it, but Manchester United themselves have been improving recently, so I think they have a good chance of scoring there, maybe.
They are strong enough to score against West Ham, I would say.
Right? Yeah, that's what I thought too, and that's why Rashford is in. Yeah, that quickly you have also of course other options in Manchester United if you want to go there like Sancho, Anthony or even Ronaldo, but I think the most assured one is Rashford, so that's why I went with him and he's actually the cheapest. Finally, when we come to the front three, I have Haaland, which I'm still gonna be starting. Although I heard from a couple of sources that he will probably not be starting. But even if you get like a 15, maybe 20-minute cameo at the end, he can still maybe deliver something there. So let's see. If he doesn't start at all and he doesn't play this match, I still have Elliot on the bench as first sub, which will probably be starting due to the injuries they have in the midfield. And he actually scored in the last Champions League game. So maybe he can do something there finally for me in the Premier League. I really wanted him to score.
He trolled you for a bit this season.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it would be his season, but still not yet there. Anyway, going back to the front, I have Jesus, who is currently as my vice captain, having a super fixture against Nottingham Forest at home. I'm actually still kind of considering a 50-50 chance of maybe captaining him instead of Salah, but my gut is always telling me Salah, you know, my homeboy. I always have to go with my homeboy with this one. But yeah, Jesus have a very good chance of scoring against Nottingham Forest. They are very bad defensively. Jesus has been shown that since the beginning of the season that he can score a lot, and he's been a great addition to the Arsenal team. And he's always playing the 90 minutes most of the time. So I think Jesus can be a big help with the returns in this one.
Yeah, he's
And
definitely a good pick.
yeah, the,
100%.
the whole. If you have any of the Arsenal actually forward players, you're in a good position. Like Martinelli, even Odegaard. You know, if you have Odegaard, you still have a chance of getting a few returns there.
Yeah, it's a really, really decent fixture. So, yeah.
Yeah, any of Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard can have a chance of scoring in this one.
Hmm.
And finally, in the front, my new addition also to the team, Wilson against Aston Villa at home. It should be an easy, a good match. I would not say easy because Villa also can be proved sometimes to be difficult. But overall, I think Newcastle have a better chance of winning this one. And if they're gonna win and score some goals, Wilson probably be the one who involved in. Hopefully not Almiron, because Almiron has been kind of
Again.
getting me nightmares, man. I don't think it's sustainable though with Almiron, and I think it will go down a bit, and Wilson could be the one to score there. But let's see what happens. And finally, the bench. We already mentioned Ward and Elliott. We have Andreas, a second sub, with the game against Everton at home. Everton have been improving recently, so I'm not sure you're going to get much there. Maybe a clean sheet, so 3 points. So that's why he's actually on the second option. And finally, Williams against Arsenal, and he's third on the bench. Arsenal definitely could win this one and maybe score a few goals. However, last week we said the same thing when you were facing Liverpool and they actually won against Liverpool and Williams managed to get 6 points out of nowhere. So I don't know.
And Trent managed to get 1 point.
Yeah, exactly. So anything could happen in Premier League, but statistically speaking, I think Williams should be third on the bench anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's looking good overall, I would say.
yeah, all right, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Even the transfers that you made, they both look good short term now until game week 16. In Rashford's case, even further, but it doesn't really matter because everybody will be having a wild card.
True.
So yeah, overall, looking at the team, it looks pretty decent. Let's see what happens with Haaland, and most important this week, I think, for most managers, will be the captaincy choice.
True, a captain's choice can make it or break it this week because if Haaland is not there and most of the people usually captain Haaland, you will have a choice now of other players, and if you pick the right one, that will can help a lot.
Exactly.
All right, guys, so that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed the content. Please don't forget to subscribe, drop us a like, and also hit the notification bell so you can get all the new videos. Good luck for everyone. Have a good one, and we'll be seeing you soon.
All right, cheers.